Hi, I'm Wade Harvey, and I'd like to go over the basic features of Ideal Automate Explorer. So after you go to GitHub and download the zip file for Ideal Automate and extract the zip files and navigate to the executable for Ideal Automate Explorer, you'll come up with something that looks like this. It won't have all these tabs, but it will have this general structure. You would have to navigate to, you'd have to put where you extracted your files here. So I want to go quickly through the features, and I'll go from right to left and top to bottom as fast as I can. So get ready, here we go. So when you're using this file option up here as opposed to the context menu down here and select here, or if you're using the file option, it means that, I'm going to press escape to unhighlight that. It means that you're trying to do something at the root level of your tab. So that's the difference between the file and the context menu on a file. So you can add a category. Now the difference between a category and a folder is simply that a category stays expanded once you expand it by clicking on this plus. If you click on the plus thing, it'll expand like that. So and it also adds this folder in here underneath the category that contains whether the category is expanded or collapsed. So we'll look at that quickly. I'm going to change the view here to details. So now it's already selected, so I have to unselect it and then reselect it to get it to open what the value is. And it knew that since this is a text file, it's going to open it in Notepad++. So it says it's expanded, so that's how it remembers to keep it expanded. So now we go back up. So we've talked about categories. I'm going to change it back to list mode. Clicking the up button to get back to the familiar view. So nothing's selected on the left-hand column, so I'm using the file. I could add a project. Now the difference between just creating a Visual Studio project and doing it this way, creating a Visual Studio project through Visual Studio, and the difference between that and doing it through this is that this will add a reference to the core project for Ideal Automate Core, which is a library of methods that helps you automate things like typing text, finding images, and so forth. So this makes it an easy way to create a project. So we'll do a quick one. So we'll just call it test project. I had already created one called test project. I'm sorry. Okay, we'll just do this. Okay, and so you saw it flicker. That means it was refreshing the screen, and so it created this test project here. And it's a full Visual Studio solution, but the main thing, it's in C# WPF, but the main thing is it has a reference to this Ideal Automate Core, which is in your roaming, app data roaming folder. So it makes it easy to just get a quick start on trying to automate something. So now I'm going back up to where the familiar place is. And we've talked about the first two. Subcategory, if you have a category highlighted, you can add a subcategory. You can add folders, all these folders, you could add any of those. The text file, a URL shortcut. URL shortcut creates something like this Notepad link. I'm sorry, it does not create that. That's a file shortcut. So if you want to launch something use the file shortcut to do a URL shortcut. That's for if you want to go out to a website. So I'll show you a quick example of doing a URL shortcut. That's just the name. And so since we're doing it through the file interface, it's going to end up at the bottom of this page. There it is. So if I clicked on that twice, it would open up an Internet Explorer. If I'm in Details view and click on it, it's going to open up in a web browser window right here in front of us. I'm not going to wait for that because we've got a lot going on. But there it is. So we've covered these guys. So WordPad file, so that's pretty obvious. Edit doesn't really do anything. View, you can collapse all. That takes everything that's a minus and changes it to a plus and collapses everything. You can expand all. That opens all categories. It's nice. The categories allow you to create a knowledge base and to-do lists. It's very powerful. So total savings tell you how much time you saved with your automation scripts, and you can add and remove columns from the list view. So apparently I forgot to talk about one thing here. I'm sorry, no I didn't. Okay, so if we go to list, so we go to show and hide columns. You can remove columns. So date modified is way over here. If we remove that, it would disappear. So we want to keep date modified. So that's how to add and remove columns. You can drag columns around, and so that's that. And press escape to get rid of that. Favorites, you can add favorite places that you like to add for new tabs on. No tools, no help. So that's from right to left. This is your path for your tab that you're working in. So I've added a bunch of different paths, different tabs. I have a to-do list for things I'm trying to get done. As you can see, you can do a search. This search is very quick. It's quicker than Visual Studio Search, or quicker than Agent Ransack, quicker than Edit Plus's search. Uses parallel processing, so when you click on that, you can search in any folder to find any text string. I'm not going to do it. It displays the results in Notepad. Okay, so that's that row, and I think we've covered everything except, let's go back over here. Now go back to this view. Got turned around there. Let's go back to list view. Okay, you can add new tabs by clicking on that. And now the context menu. It has build for building your Visual Studio projects. Compare, if you were trying to compare two files, you can select an actual and an ideal and compare them. You can copy one of these things. You can delete that. You can use metadata to add and modify some extra properties to your folder or your files. and you can add hotkeys to automatically launch your application that you did. So let's look at the modify metadata real quickly. So you have a custom field. You can use that for anything. Description is self-explanatory. Manual time in seconds. This is if you're doing an automated script, you can enter how many seconds it would take you to do it manually. Then you can compare that to the automated time to see how much time you're saving. Then there's status. This is just whether you're done or whatever. You can make up your own categories for that. So that is that. And then one last thing is hotkeys. You add the hotkeys there. You just like that. So let's see if there's anything else. I think that's it. I accidentally clicked the wrong thing there. But that's it. Thanks. You can run, this will find your executable in the folder and run it. And you can open a project with Visual Studio right there. That's all. Thank you.